Dear guests, welcome to our special edition of Think and Thrive, in collaboration with the Media and Film Department at Sunmarke School, where amazing happens. We are also honoured to welcome our special guest, Mr Shekhar Kapur. Buckle up for this exciting event and join me in welcoming your hosts, Head of Media and Film, Mrs. Sultana, along with Media and Film teacher, Mr. Yek.
Good morning, students, staff members, Mrs. Mankani, our board of directors, and our esteemed guest, Mr. Kapur. It is so lovely to see you all in person, and welcome to this special edition of Think and Thrive, collaborating with the Media and Film Department and also Performing Arts. Today we come together to celebrate creativity, ambition, and excellence. This event is structured in 3 exciting segments. We begin with our Think and Thrive interview with our distinguished film director, followed by our amazing musical performances from our performing arts students, and finally into our student awards.
Media and film has been among the most influential forms of storytelling for decades, shaping societies, reflecting cultures, and inspiring change. It plays a huge role in our school community. Our students are not just studying media, they are actively stepping into that creative world, developing their voices, techniques to grow as storytellers.
This morning we turn our attention to an icon of global cinema, Mr. Shekhar Kapur, who is an Oscar-nominated filmmaker and visionary storyteller, known for his distinctive approach to cinema and powerful narratives that resonate across cultures. Someone whose work has shaped storytelling across generations. It is a personal honor for me to introduce someone whose films I have admired since childhood.
From Indian cinema to internationally acclaimed films, his career has inspired filmmakers and audiences around the world, including our Sunmarke students here today. It is a privilege for our students to hear firsthand about his journey, his challenges, and the creative vision that has shaped his career.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate his remarkable contributions, please turn your attention to the screen for a special tribute video, followed by our main event, Think and Thrive, with the incredible Mr. Kapur. Enjoy and see you shortly.
Some storytellers entertain us, some inspire us. And then there are visionaries like Shekhar Kapur.
The idea of life is a mystery.
Whose films shape how generations feel, think and dream.
I think I was 24 when I realized that there's something I wanted in life.
From India to the global stage, his journey has been one of courage, creativity and constant reinvention.
I knew that it would be a difficult film to release in India once I started shooting the film.
A filmmaker who dared to dream differently and brought those dreams to life. From redefining Indian cinema to creating globally acclaimed films, his movies are not just stories, they are experiences, raw, powerful, unforgettable. Through history, humanity, and imagination, he he has shown us the many faces of storytelling. Each film brought something unique. Masoom revealed innocence and emotion. Mr. India redefined imagination and popular cinema. Bandit Queen brought fearless realism to the screen. With Elizabeth, his storytelling reached the global stage, earning 7 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, winning the Oscar for Best Makeup, and receiving Best Director nominations at both the BAFTA Awards and the Golden Globe Awards. His cinematic journey continued with The Four Feathers, Elizabeth, The Golden Age, and, most recently, What's Love Got to Do With It? In recognition of his contribution to cinema and the arts, he was honoured with the Padma Shri in 2000 and the Padma Bhushan in 2025. Beyond the camera, he is a thinker, a seeker, a voice that inspires generations. Today, his journey meets ours at Sunmarke School, where young storytellers are discovering their own voices. Your work reminds us that imagination has no limits. It is our honour to welcome a visionary, a storyteller, an inspiration. Welcome to Sunmarke School, Shekhar Kapur. First, taking the stage as our interviewer, Matilde Simao. Joining her on stage, one of the most influential voices in world cinema, a visionary director and an internationally acclaimed filmmaker, Mr. Shekhar Kapur. And now, let Think and Thrive begin.
Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to welcome you to this Think and Thrive session with Mr. Shekhar Kapur. Our speaker today is someone whose work has shaped global cinema and redefined the art of storytelling. Mr. Shekhar Kapur is an Oscar-nominated filmmaker and visionary storyteller and director, known for his distinctive approach to cinema and powerful narratives that resonate across cultures. He is the award-winning director of globally recognized films, such as Elizabeth as well as Bandit Queen, both of which have left a lasting impact on world cinema. His work has earned him major international recognition, including BAFTA acclaim and global festival honors. Beyond filmmaking, he is also a thought leader and storyteller who continues to inspire conversations around creativity, imagination, and the future of storytelling. Today is not just about hearing his journey, but about being inspired to reflect on our own. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Mr. Shekhar Kapur.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It is such an honor to meet you, as you're such an amazing role model in the area that you are a part of and the area that I aspire to become a part of in the future. And I really, really want to ask you, what was the moment you realized storytelling through film was your true calling?
I think the first question is, what was inspired storytelling? I don't think that we exist unless we tell a story. Almost everything that we do, and I realized all perception is story. If you cannot tell a story, this is how imagination works. It is like when man first thought, lightning. What does lightning mean? Oh, it's the two gods are angry with each other, so you tell a story. Stories came from mythology, right? So tell me when I'm getting too philosophical, okay? Because I start talking to myself. So you have to stop me doing that. And I was told, Mila, who works with me, said, oh, you'll be talking in a small room with 100 people. So different, right? But I'm glad it's different. So now imagine, so where does storytelling come from? It comes from one question, which I'll come to now. That imagine that you are on a parachute, even a student or whoever you are, you're on a parachute, okay? And you are floating through life, and you have a parachute, and you got controls, right? And if there's a little storm, the parachute goes this way or that way, and you got your controls, and you can do this, and you can control your parachute. You're okay, you're safe. and somebody says to you, why don't you look up? And you say, well, why do you want me to look up? I'm fine. I'm floating through life, right? I'm going to school. I'm coming here every day. Everything's fine. So no, look up. And you look up, and then you say, there's no parachute. Where did the parachute go? My parachute of myself. Where did that go? And then you say, hey, help me. I'm falling. I'm falling. Help me. And then you say, okay, look down. And you look down, and there's nothing to fall into. So you didn't fall off anything. You didn't fall. You're not falling into anything. And then you ask the question, so who am I? Right? Now, when you ask that question, you start developing stories. We develop a mythology arises from that inability to find ourselves. We are finite. I'm sure a lot of you, study metaphysics, physics, right? Our big issue always is to find our finite selves in an infinite existence. When I was a kid, I used to live in Delhi, and I don't know if some of you may have come from there. And in summer, we used to sleep on the roof. Cool. And at night, there was no pollution in Delhi those days, so I could see the stars. I could see the Milky Way. I could see thousands and millions of stars. In fact, the starlight was so strong that I could see my shadow. That's in Delhi. And I remember asking my mother, I said, what, this maybe 10 or 11, maybe younger. And I asked my mother, I said, how far does this go? And she said, it goes on forever. That was the beginning of the journey of storytelling, because I couldn't define forever. Wow. How? You go to school and they say, here's mathematics, it's an equation, I can define it, right? You exist because you're measurable, right? Yes. Everything, if it's not measurable, not quantifiable, we say that it probably doesn't exist. But here I am, me, the quantifiable self, in a way that I think I'm quantifiable, and I'm existing in something that is impossible to quantify. How do you quantify forever? That's a fundamental issue that got me on my journey to storytelling, because the only way I could quantify it by telling a story. Who am I becomes the story.
Wow, thank you so much. Looking back at your early career, what was the biggest risk you took that shaped who you are today?
I think that I'm still looking for the biggest risk, right? I used to be a chartered accountant, and all good middle-class Indian boys had to do what? They had to be lawyers. What else? Computer scientists or chartered accountants. You know? And I was a chartered accountant. And then one day I realized that that's not who I am. And I guess the risk was I walked away from it. Well, my mother used to proudly say at every Delhi party, my son's a chartered accountant in London. Wow. Then one day I walked away, and she had to say, your son, he walked away from chartered accountancy. And then the question in the big Delhi society would be, so what's he doing now? And she would sort of look down and not try and answer that question. Say, tell him, what is he doing? And she would say, I don't know. So that was the only truth that she could ever say about me, because that was the truth about me at that time. I don't know. And as long as I don't know, I will keep seeking. As long as I don't know, I will keep wondering. And if you ask me today, what is the secret of eternal youth? Is to be constantly in a state of wonder, constantly in a state of seeking. And then one day when you arrive and say, I do know, you'll cease to wonder. If you cease to wonder, how are you ever going to find forever? Because the search for forever is a search for stories, is a search for life, is a state of constant wonder. What is it? Where am I? Who am I? Right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So the first one is to leave accounting. And the second biggest risk, which I'm still evolving out of, which I'm so glad I took, was I walked away not knowing what I was going to do. And so I opened myself out to the adventure of life. And therefore you become open to everything, right? And imagine if I hadn't gone off to chartered accountant, if I had been a chartered accountant, I would have been retired by now. Probably you would have not invited me here to talk to you. Nobody would have been interested in listening to me. You're only interested in listening to me because I'm a bit of a mystery. And the only reason I'm a mystery is because I'm a mystery to myself. And I have to continue to be a mystery to myself. Otherwise, what's the point of searching forever? I never forget that one line that my mother said to me. It goes on for forever. I just would cry every night trying to imagine forever. And I don't cry now, but I'm still trying to do that.
That's wonderful. What makes a story unforgettable in your opinion?
It has to touch people's hearts. Now, that's an easy thing to say, right? What does Shekhar Kapur say to us? Oh, tell a story that touches people's hearts. It has to touch people's hearts in many ways. All art is a conflict. So come to stories. If you ask the greatest composer in the world, give me perfect harmony, it will be one note. What makes a great composition is the conflict of notes. And that conflict, like it ends here, it starts here, there's always a gap in between.
Yeah.
And who fills that gap? You. So it throws you into conflict because there's a harmony that goes from here to there and suddenly there's a gap. Poetry, same thing. A poet will leave gaps because he doesn't have words for what he wants to express. Language can be very limiting in that way, right? So how does a poet fill those gaps? He doesn't. That's what makes great poetry, because he pushes you, or she pushes you to a point where you, in your own heart, you wonder. And the greatest stories are ones that make you wonder because they create a conflict inside you, maybe a moral conflict. Mm-hmm. And therefore, one of the reasons most movies are about relationships, because we have to tell stories that my audience can identify with. Definitely. So even if you make the greatest space movie in the world, I mean, those of you who have seen, what's a film called Hail Mary?
Yeah.
I went to see it the other day. So ultimately, a guy goes into space to discover space and discover sun. And what's the story about? It's about a love story between a rock and him, right? Rocky and him. It becomes a love story. So you start to develop a relation. You understand things in Rocky that are emotional, that you sense, and start develop things in the main star that you sense. And so it's emotional conflict of the current sun. Now, you could not make that film in the 40s. Nobody understands going to save the sun. Now they do, but then you are going to make a great science fiction movie of today, and you understand because everybody knows now, okay, the sun may die, But you still come back to the original idea that it's a love story. It's a love story, it's a hate story, it's a conflicting story. All great stories are internal moral conflicts.
Wow, that's such an amazing way to put it.
Do you like what I'm saying?
I definitely do.
I need somebody to say no, challenge me. Otherwise, I'll stop wondering. I'll think I'm great, which I'm not. Yeah.
With your new role as an advisor at Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence, how would you approach your filmmaking journey differently in today's age of AI and digital media?
Well, I think that for filmmakers, it's an easier question to answer because it's another tool. When sound first came in, all Hollywood used to be silent films, right? And there was music. When sound came in, there was a huge protest in Hollywood. They said cinema is dead because actors don't speak. So how would we do that? When color came in, everybody said cinema is dead because it was supposed to be black and white, right? Christopher Nolan, one of my favorite directors, still shoots on celluloid. He doesn't use digital camera, but 99.9999% of the world uses digital camera. Mm-hmm. So what is a digital camera? It's 01010101. It's an electronic information gathering device.
Yeah.
So it picks light up and shadow up, or your face, or anything is reflected in terms of computer language, right? And then you reinterpret that computer language into a story, into form. In the form is cinema. So AI is another form of a much more efficient form. The only thing is that we are at the cusp of AI. Yeah. So right now, for example, the first big thing that came from AI was Sora from OpenAI. Mm-hmm. They took it away because of too much competition, too much. So AI is another tool. You can ask me a question, I'll tell you more about it later. So AI is easy. For me, which is another thing, because storytelling and art is consistently somehow has to be associated with society. Because without society, without the moral conflicts of society, then there are no stories. For me, what I want to study, and I am studying, is how AI will change the way we structure organizations.
Definitely.
If somebody wants to know, I can talk about that, but we'll continue. So ask me a question, I'll tell you where the issue lies in how do you structure, because we think in organizations, a pyramid, you have a head school and you have students and you're done. Suddenly, AI will question that structure.
Yeah.
So how do we structure society in the future is the big issue going to be with AI.
Do you believe that it's a risk towards the industry for film?
Sorry?
Do you believe that AI is a risk for the film industry or an opportunity?
With one? Sorry?
Do you believe that AI is a risk for the film industry?
No. It's just as digital was not. In fact, how could anything that is so... AI is the most democratic technology to hit us. You can make a $300 million film in $3,000 now. That's democracy. So you are allowing more and more people to create huge kind of cinema that only Chris Nolan would do, or maybe I could have done. And the big directors, is the director of Avatar. He also knows, he talks about it all the time. He says, now my new competition is not going to be with the big Hollywood. Why? You know what? Because what happens with Hollywood, for example, those of you who want to be a cinema, remember what happens with Hollywood is that they raise their bar by making it all very expensive.
Yeah.
So then you have to try very hard. How do I make a $300 million film? What do I have to do to be Spielberg or Chris Nolan or James Cameron, right? The bar, AI would shatter that bar.
Yeah.
Shatter. You can make a $300 million film now in $3,000. So it's a huge opportunity for filmmakers, people who want to make films. You can sit and just play with the medium, experiment with the medium, and new stars of that medium will come out.
Do you think that these changes, along with streaming platforms, have shifted the kind of stories and the opportunities that can be told by emerging talent?
The two questions you asked me about emerging talent, but you also told me whether storytelling has shifted. So I'll take the first one.
Okay.
Okay. The best stories today are not, because I remember, I've worked in Hollywood quite a bit, and I remember some heads of studios telling me, but Shekhar, we don't do drama. I said, what is? It's storytelling, but drama. Now that one attitude of, because films were becoming so expensive, not only were films becoming that expensive, the release costs were huge. So if you make a $300 million film, there's another $150 million going into the marketing of it. So the best writers went to OTT. That's why the best, find some of the best stories are now coming out on OTT platforms. Yeah. Because that's where they said, okay, that's drama. That's why you come at 6 o'clock in the evening and settle down and turn on Game of Thrones, because the writing is good. Or if anybody watched the BAFTAs, if you have seen Adolescence, the series is like it's the best. I mean, cinema, OTT, everything, one of the best things I've ever seen.
I fully agree.
You could not have made that on film. Nobody would have allowed it to be on screen. But they did it on OTT on a smaller budget. So some of the best experimentation has gone to OTT. Some of the best writing has gone.
I fully agree. How important do you think networking is versus pure talent in today's film ecosystem?
Say it again.
How important is networking versus pure talent in today's film ecosystem? And how can young people build meaningful industry connections authentically?
Networking is not a film issue. Networking is, what do you do when you want to get married? You network. What do you do when you want a girlfriend? You network. What do you do when you want friends? You network. Network is human communication, right? So if you do not, so we just developed another name, we call it network, and suddenly, networking, I'm not going to do networking. But you're networking every day. When you get up in the morning, immediately you're networking, right? So how does that work in the film industry? Now, it's better. Are you aspiring filmmaker? Yeah.
Definitely.
You're networking now. You just met me, right? You're networking with each other. You're inspiring each other. Yeah. And now, sometimes I get people with a camera and they're videoing me and saying, So how do I become a filmmaker? I said, hang on, you're taking a video of me, right? Okay. You have an editing software on your computer? Yeah, yes, sir. And you have YouTube? Yes, sir. Well, you can shoot, edit, and put it on video, right? You have the opportunity to do that. I never had that. I had to find somebody to fund a 35mm camera and celluloid and get that. So the opportunities for you of actually making things, of actually expressing yourself is huge. So now you can network on YouTube. And you do that, you can put something on YouTube and then get your friends to put it there. Then if nobody's coming to your channel on YouTube, then you get on to TikTok and put little bits there. So you've got 100 different ways of, it's networking, 100 different ways of taking what you want to say to the world. Now, if you have nothing to say to the world, then don't do it, right? But if you have something to say to the world, that means you want to tell a story. If you want to tell a story, that means there's something inside you is conflicting. Because if there's no conflict inside you, then you're not an artist. Art is born out of conflict, right? It's so. You cannot resolve a mathematical equation with art because art will say, no, there's another way. It'll constantly put you back into conflict. So you have a million different ways now to express yourself. So the next, how do I get attention? Well, use it. That's what people are doing now. All over the world, people are doing it. In Nigeria, there was 3 teenage kids or something, right, that started to experiment with, they call it something, Nollywood. They call Nigerian film industry. It's quite big, Nigerian film industry. Wow. And 3 kids in a slum sat down and made a film on TikTok or something and showed it to Hollywood. And now they're doing a major Hollywood film.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 kids in a slum. So the opportunities of expressing yourself and showing yourself, technology, thank you so much, thank you. Technology is there for you.
Yeah.
Right?
What was your vision behind Elizabeth, and how did it feel to see the film receive Oscar recognition?
Say that again.
What was your vision behind Elizabeth, the movie?
Okay, so Elizabeth to me was, I was wanting to make a film about the glass wall for women, right? And so Elizabeth really was a story. But my question in my mind was, Elizabeth, everybody says, she was the virgin queen, right?
Yeah.
But was she really a virgin? How do you know? Right? We say she was. And I asked myself this question, was it to take her femininity away? Right? To say, oh, no, if you want to be powerful, you cannot be feminine sexual.
Yeah.
Nobody says that to a man. No? You don't say to a man, oh, you have to take your masculinity away, and then you can become a leader. They only say it to women. And that was a fundamental thing I started with. To say, was she a virgin, or did she have to declare herself a virgin? So I took the attitude, I even had a scene with her in bed, with her boyfriend, right? To say that virginity was a political choice for power, right? And then you saw the way she, if you look at the film again, there's gradually she's feminine and sexual in the beginning, and then gradually her hairstyle changes, and gradually her sleeves come down, her neck goes up, and this great big Elizabethan idea of that was as a way to hide it all, say I'm not. And then this could be a little political. I thought, who else do I know that's done that? Indira Gandhi. It was the same story. They put Elizabeth on the throne thinking, oh, she's just a little girl. Yeah. When we finally decide who will be real king, then we'll get rid of her. They couldn't get rid of her. That's exactly what happened with Indira Gandhi. When there was a political void, they put her on the throne and they couldn't get rid of her. But she also, as she grew up, her hairstyle became severe. Her costume became severe. So it was that one question that I had was virginity a fact or was virginity a political move? That's what the film's about, the whole film.
Wow, that's incredible. What is one industry truth that took you years to learn?
Sorry, say again?
What is one industry truth?
It's just reverberating a little bit. So what is one?
Industry truth that took you years to learn, but young people should understand earlier.
One industry that the young people should understand earlier?
So like something about the film industry that took you a while to learn, but that young people that are just starting to join the industry should know.
It's very different from when I went. When I went, Hollywood, like, there was no Indian there. And the first thing they said was, can you speak English? And the next thing they said, can you tell us, do you, Mr. Kapoor, understand a 3-act structure story? And I said, no, I don't, because it's wrong. So the one truth is, everything's wrong. You have to reject every law, rule that's put down there. Everything. Reject it. Because art is a manifestation of rebellion. If you do not rebel against what is, then you're not an artist. And the one truth that I can say is just rebel. I mean, Bandit Queen was rebellious. Elizabeth, I had rebelled against every form. I met Martin Scorsese and he said, how do you find out how to shoot? Shekhar, because you shoot like these huge shots and then suddenly, so we had a conversation. I said, I sit down and say, how should I not shoot to be confirming, that's how people shoot a film. I would sit down and say, how do people not make a film? And I'll shoot it like that. So rebellion is is the greatest, it's the greatest need you have to create art.
To be yourself.
So if you find that you're doing something that people say you should do, rebel against it. Don't do it. And then you will come to your own conclusion. No? How else do you become yourself except by rebelling against what is or what you're being told to do?
Thank you so much. Okay, so now it's time to switch gears and have some fun with a rapid fire round.
You mean you've not been having fun so far?
I mean, I've been having fun.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know if everyone else has been having fun.
Well, let's ask them. Have you been having fun? There you are.
I heard some.
I'm right, you're wrong. Okay, now you got to rebel against me.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you some very good questions. Don't overthink.
Very good question, you said?
Quick.
Quick, okay, all right.
So some very quick questions. Just don't overthink. Just answer it like however you want, but just don't think about it too much. So what is one film you wish you had made?
What was that boxing film that Scorsese made?
A boxing film?
Yeah, about the boxer.
Raging Bull.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that movie.
Oh, you have to see that.
I'll watch it. Do you prefer Bollywood or Hollywood?
I prefer wherever I can tell a better story.
That's an amazing answer. I already asked this one, AI and media, threat or opportunity? Opportunity. What is one thing that young filmmakers overthink too much?
Overthink too much?
Yes.
About themselves, about what art should be. Rebellion is not about overthinking about yourself. Rebellion is rebelling and doing it. Do it. Just do that. Just do it. If there was something that I was going to do about myself and go back, I spent too much time being told what to do and listening. Then one day, when you stop listening, you're a filmmaker.
What stays with you longer? A great script or a great performance?
A great performance. Because hidden in a great performance is 10 scripts. A great pause. There is a whole lifetime in a pause. If you work with Kate Blanchett, you realize that in the pause she takes, there's a whole life in that pause. So a script just tells you what to do. A performance takes you into life.
Do you think the future of cinema is in bigger screens, like a cinema, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
or in smaller devices?
I think that the small devices are the prick points. But of course, cinema to me is the big screen. We just don't, I mean, the big problem in the world right now is we don't have enough theaters.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that what AI might be able to do is all of us sit with glasses and think we're sitting next to each other, but it's the illusion. But we just don't have the space. Real estate is a big problem with cinema right now.
Yeah.
You'll probably know, all of you do that. It's so expensive, real estate, that you don't get that much money by creating a theater. You buy 20 apartments. This auditorium could be 3 apartments, right? Okay, you're a school, so you get, this is a great thing about being in an educational institution. But big screen is why the idea of Imagine the greatest comedy in the world you've ever seen. What's the biggest comedy you've ever seen? Tell me. Just think.
The biggest comedy.
The best comedy you've ever seen. Or any one person, shout out the best comedy you've ever seen. Give me a name. What?
Oh, I'm forgetting the name of the movie.
Just give me one name. Rush Hour. Now imagine seeing Rush Hour in a large theater and you're the only person watching it. The difference between 500 people watching it and laughing with you,
Yeah.
or you watching it alone, there's a whole community angle that moves away from if you're not watching in a theater.
Yeah. I definitely think part of watching a movie is sharing it with people and
Sharing.
experiencing
We
it.
are human beings. That's how we develop. We share. We communicate. That's a, sharing is a huge part of our existence.
Definitely. What is one film that every media student has to watch?
Every film. One film that everybody
That everyone has to watch?
has to watch.
Yes.
Yeah. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Watch that. If you're a film student and you have not watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, you have to watch it.
Do you think
Can I
social
name
media?
one more?
Sorry?
Can I name one more? Watch Amadeus. It's the best conflict. It's, every film has a structure. That's a hugely beautiful structure, the story. Because, can I tell you why? Because it's a story of Mozart.
Yeah.
How do you cannot tell the story of Mozart in 1.5 hours. Because how do you tell the story of a genius? Because a genius is looking forever, for forever. How do you tell the story, right? So what he created was a man who hated him. And you explored the man who hated him and could not understand him. Right till the end, you couldn't. You have to watch, if you're watching different kind of storytellings, watch Amadeus.
Do you think social media is helpful for filmmakers or distracting?
I would say if you're writing a script, throw your phone away, right? But social media is also a great tool. It's a great tool for you to talk, to tell people about yourself,
Yeah.
to tell people about the film you're doing, to tell people about the stories you want to share. So
Definitely.
it's a judicious choice you have to make. It is also the greatest distraction. Peter Weir, the filmmaker, does not even do email. Great filmmaker. I'm told it. I mean, Chris, I keep talking about Chris Nolan because I sometimes wonder how his mind's. He doesn't use the phone. He doesn't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so without a cell phone, very few people do social media. Most of it, 90% of your social media is through cell phones.
Yeah.
So, but if you're writing a script, please, I mean, I'm guilty of that. I mean, like, every time I come out, my God, what should be the next thing? Chalo, I'll think about it. Let me just check my social media. Let me check the news or something. It's distracting. Yeah, the pain and the agony of discovery goes away if you have a distraction like social media.
Definitely. If you weren't a filmmaker, what career would you be in?
I'd be a street bum. I honestly would just be walking the streets. I mean, one of the things that I decided when I left being a chartered accountant was to drop one, because it was drummed into me, because you asked me that word right now, was that one thing I'm never, ever going back to is the word called career. Because just because that's it, that's all you do, right?
Yeah.
So I would be doing everything. I would not have a career. If I didn't I fell into film, I could have fallen into something else. I mean, now I look at the world and I look at like, should I be a forest ranger? Or should I have been protecting forests because I'm a big environmentalist? Would I have been happy doing that? Yeah, I would have. I'll tell you a little story that got very famous on Instagram once. I put it out and then I lied a little bit on it. Okay, I'll tell you, because all over the world people would call me and say, what happened? I'd gone on a yacht when I was about 19, 18, 20, to Ibiza, stole my friend's father's yacht. None of us were sailors, but we sailed it from Portsmouth to Ibiza.
Well,
In Ibiza, there was a boat next to ours. And it was a French family. And I fell madly in love with one glimpse, one look. I fell madly in love with the girl on the boat next to her. I couldn't get over her. Something that we met. And they were sailing away the next day. They were going to South America. And she said, why don't you come with us? Here's the idea of choice. So I remember that because of choice. I wanted to go. But by that time, I was a chartered accountant. I was earning a salary. What will I say to my parents? And she said, just come. And she went to her father and said, I just met this guy on the next boat. He's Indian and he's a great chef. He cooks great. She lied. I don't know how to cook. And she said, come. The morning the boat sailed away and I didn't go. And I've never forgotten that moment. I've never forgotten that moment to think, what if I had gone? I would not have been a filmmaker. What would have happened to my family? Where would I be? Would I be in South America? Maybe I would have been shipwrecked. Maybe we would have never gone. Maybe I would have gone and done, who knows? The idea of life takes you into very, very different things and you keep making different choices. But you have to allow yourself to have a choice. No? If you have a career, you're not even allowing yourself to have the choice.
Yeah.
I had the choice, I didn't make it, and I've never forgotten that moment. So I wrote about it on Instagram, and I created an Instagram picture of her. She looked very pretty. I don't remember even that much, but she must have looked like that. And I said that I was traveling on Emirates flights and I was sitting in, they have this bar in Emirates that you can go and have a drink, and I was there, and suddenly this lady came in with some children, and we got talking, and she said, you know what? I remember I was on a yacht in Ibiza, and there was a very charming Indian boy on the other side, and we fell in love, and then I asked her to come. Does that make a great story?
That's a great story.
See what I mean? That last bit didn't happen. That was the third act.
Yeah.
And everybody fell for that story. Oh my God, what do you say? What do you say? See, that's storytelling. I made it up on the last minute and I put it out. That's how you tell stories. But a love story. It's all love stories.
What scares you more, a blank page or a bad review?
A blank page, because that gives you the choice of starting all over again. But one thing, remember, if you're there's no right or wrong in creativity. There's nothing right or wrong. It's not mathematics. It's not right or wrong. But even in mathematics, we keep discovering so many different equations that there's nothing right or wrong. But honesty. So I can't tell myself it's a bad review. Shekhar, were you honest when you did this? If it's yes, then the reviewer can go to hell. But if that's the question that comes to me. Mm-hmm. So if I wasn't honest at that time, then I need to go back to the blank page. But if you are, and honesty doesn't last the whole film. Right? Honesty is the honesty of the moment, because the moment tells you, to be honest, that's it. Here, I'm right here. And that's what I tell my actors all the time. I say that I don't expect you to agree with me all the time. I don't expect you to be right or you're wrong. I just want you to be honest. And I can tell if you're not being honest. That's it.
Yeah.
So a blank page. Yeah. If I'm not being honest, it has to be a blank page all over again.
Okay, that was an incredible rapid fire round. Thank you. But now we're going to ask some questions from you guys. Does anyone have any question?
Can we have a like there?
Guys, can you put your hands up? Because I can't see anything.
Listen, guys, if you're going to be shy.
Guys, don't be shy.
Yep, there's a question there.
Louise. Oh, what? Sorry? Oh, yeah, they need to bring the mic, sorry.
Can we start with you,
about
Seth?
that.
Yeah. He's nearer.
Oh.
Okay, I have a question over here.
Well, just raise your hand. Where are you? Okay, hi.
Hi. You talked about competing against AI and the structure of AI, but I wanted to ask, so do you think that an AI movie takes away from the magic of storytelling, like the personal touch that it has upon people, in terms of the interaction between actors, directors, and the fans, to connection and involvement with characters?
Okay. I've just come out from an ear infection. It's resounding. What's the question? Tell me again.
I think she's asking if, like, an AI movie has, like... Sorry, can you repeat that? I kind of
I
forgot
said, do you
as well.
think AI takes away from the magic of storytelling in terms of its, like, personal connection between actors, directors, and fans that enjoy those movies because of those personal connections?
Okay, so if an AI movie takes away from, like, the magic of filmmaking and, like, the connection between the fans and the director and the actors.
If I'm making an AI movie and if I use AI as a tool, as another tool to make the film, and no, who is the storyteller? Is AI the storyteller or I as a director? That's the question constantly. Who's telling a story? If AI is influencing the way you tell the story, then you're not relating. You're not who you are. You're not the creative person. So you have to fight with AI because AI will often give you stuff that even with like all the Chinese street dance and those amazing AI software that's coming out, you have to challenge it because if you allow it to, if you get, it all depends on your sense, it's your inertia. Oh my God, look what AI has done for me. That's great, I'll go that way. That's inertia. But if you stick to the story, the emotion that you want to portray, then AI is another tool for you. Did I answer your question? Was that your question? Yeah?
Okay, we have time for one more question.
Thank you. I really liked what you said about your, I guess, career shift because you said that you were into...
Can you drop the word career? I
All
didn't
right,
shift careers.
I'll drop it.
I still am looking for one.
Okay, let's say escape from career, right? Because you were in accounting and everything was telling you accounting, you know? And as you said, you had to get out of that. And I want to know, how do you take that first step? You know, how do you move on from doing what you think you're supposed to do to doing what you really want to do?
Are you facing that in your life now?
I think I am, so.
Yeah,
Definitely
I know that. I
is.
can see that. Yeah. No, where are you from?
My dad is from Lebanon. My mom is from Armenia.
Well, go back to the history of your cultures.
Yeah?
Yeah. See how much change has come.
Good point.
How did I do that? Is because I just rebelled.
Yeah?
You know, rebellion is not, it's not just like, okay, I rebelled and went. Rebellion is, you put yourself through emotional trauma.
Right.
Rebellion is an emotional trauma also, right? So don't think that you can just say, okay, I'm walking away. You don't just walk away. When you're rebelling, it's something that the expectations of other people is the biggest problem in our lives, always. Do it because the audience expects this. Tell the story because the audience will love it. Take this career because you're expected to do it. Now, expectations sits like the heaviest burden on your shoulders for the rest of your life. It is not just when you're a student. It continues for the rest of your life. And then even the people that expected you to do something are not there in your life anymore, but those expectations are still heavy. So when you get into storytelling and when you get into the idea of how to tell stories, you get into the psychology of people, you'll soon find that out. So the expectations of a great relationship, look at all the love stories you've seen. The expectations of a great relationship is also, most of the time, a moral conflict that we deal with. That's not how it could be like that. So just do it, you know. Just go, just do it. And is it painful? Yes. Fear. Is it frightening? Of course it's frightening. I think that fear is a great tool for creativity. Huge tool. Huge. If I don't feel afraid of something, I won't do it. I won't do it because it's too easy. I mean, then you think that Mozart wasn't afraid when he was making those compositions? You think the greatest poets in their lives that have survived for over a couple of centuries, or do you think that they wrote those poems out of a lack of fear? No. Angst, fear, all of that are essential part of not just creative lives. It's a part of life. And to overcome a fear is huge. Have that sense of triumph and the belief in yourself when you overcome a deep-seated fear in yourself. Try it. So are you going to do this as I'm talking to you? Are you going to take that step? Oh, great. I'm going to applaud you then. Yes. Yeah.
No more questions? Okay. Can I ask one last question? Okay. So this is mostly a question for me, but also a question that can apply to anyone in the audience. If a student here wanted to start their journey in the film industry, what is the first step you think they should take?
First step, if you want to start a journey?
Yeah.
Tell a story. And do you have a story to tell? It could be a painting, it could be, I mean, even when you fall in love for the first time, when you go to the person you're in love with, you're telling a story. I'm in love with you is a story. It's not just, I am in love with you, it's not just 6 words. It carries a whole lifetime behind it. Right? That's why love is the most misunderstood word in the whole language, always. So tell a story. And I tell my stories again. People used to run away. Before I became a filmmaker, it was very famous about me. If Shekhar is here, he's going to tell a story. Come on, let's announce dinner. Otherwise, he'll start telling a story. I was obsessive about wanting to tell stories. So there's something in me that wanted to explore something in me, right? What else is a story? Your desperation to explore something that lies inside you, so you want to express that in a story. So tell a story.
Thank you so much. So we've come to an end. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today and giving us such powerful...
Okay, don't read that. Now talk to me.
Okay. Improv. Thank you so much for everything you've given us today, for all the valuable information, and for everything you've shared. Your perspective and your point of view is so valued, at least to me, I think to everyone in the audience.
Thank
you. Is such like a refreshing and nice perspective to hear, especially face to face. Incredible. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us today.
Thank you. And you know, when I was coming here, Mila, who's responsible for telling me there will be 100 people in the hall, that's all. She was saying, no, do you want to go through with the question? I said, no, don't tell me. Because if I know the question being answered, I'm not challenged myself. So you have no idea how valuable this has been for me. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. That way?
Yeah, this way.
Thank you.
I'm incredibly nervous. It is an honour to be here. To our esteemed guests, boys and girls, board of directors, and of course the iconic Mr. Kapur. My name is Claire Bennett. I'm head of performance here at Sunmarke. Mr. Kapur, as a self-proclaimed movie obsessive and nerd, it is a thrilling moment for me, my pleasure and my honour. I'm still looking at these cards though, aren't I? We'd now love to showcase a microcosm of some of the incredibly talented performing arts students here at Sunmarke. In our modern world, the performing arts gives us something that AI cannot replicate: human connection and empathy. And that is what we are most passionate about teaching our students. So please do look out for the tenuous movie links with some of these performance choices. I'm now going to hand over to the voice of God and to welcome these talented students to the stage.
Have you ever wondered, will I have, about how when I say red, for example, there's no way of knowing if red was the same thing in your head as red means in my head when someone says red? I'm not sure, but I wonder if inside my head I'm not just a bit different from some of my friends. These answers that come into my mind unbidden, these stories delivered to me fully written, and when everyone sounds like they seem to like shouting, the noise in my head is incredibly loud. They just wish they'd stop. My dad and my mom and the telly and stories would stop for just once. I'm sorry, I'm not quite explaining it right. This noise becomes anger, and the anger is light. This burning inside me would usually fade, but it's hard today, and the heat and this shouting, and my heart is pounding, my eyes are burning, and suddenly everything is quiet. Like silence, but not really silence. Just that still sort of quiet, like the sound of a page being turned in a book, or a pause in a walk in the woods. This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again. For this is the end. I've drowned and dreamt this moment, so overdue I owe them. Swept away, I'm stolen. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall, I face it all together. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall, I face it all together at skyfall. Skyfall is where we start. 1,000 miles and poles apart, where worlds collide and days get dark. You may have my number, you can take my name, but you never have my heart. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall, I face it all together. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall, I face it all together at skyfall. Where you go, I go. What you see, I see. I know I'd never be me without the security of your loving arms, keeping me from harm. Put your hand in my hand and we'll stay. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall and face it all together. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall and face it all together at skyfall. Let the sky fall. We will stand tall at skyfall.
Get ready for the Media and Film Awards 2026. Please welcome back your hosts, Mrs. Sultana and Mr. Yek.
What beautiful performances. And it really sets the tone for this final part of this show. And thank you again, Mr. Kapur, for your insight into your experience as a film director. It's inspiring people like you that really help bridge what we teach in the classroom to the real world. Your insight will undoubtedly stay with our students for a long time and continue to inspire their own work. Now, we move on to our student awards.
Yes, we do. Media and film truly sit at the heart of our school community, and we are incredibly proud of the passion and achievements our students continue to demonstrate year after year. This year alone, they have reached remarkable milestones, winning Best Advertising Short at the University of Wollongong Film Festival, securing second place at the Symbiosis International University during the Mediathon competition, and achieving a fantastic win for Best UAE Film at the SAE University Black Sheep Film Competition.
We really have had some outstanding achievements, but this year has brought some unexpected challenges. It's great that we can still recognize the incredible resilience, creativity, and commitment our students have shown throughout. Despite not always being able to fully complete their short films or productions, they have continued to produce work at a high standard and demonstrate real growth as young media practitioners.
With this in mind, we would like to take this opportunity to celebrate their effort, dedication, and creative development over time by presenting a series of outstanding achievement awards. But before we move on to the awards, please take a moment to enjoy the showcase of the kind of work being produced in the media and film department over the years. Enjoy. Super proud of our students and everything they have achieved over the years. Moments like these are especially meaningful as they remind us of how far creativity and passion can take you. As a young girl growing up in the UK and watching a lot of Bollywood films, I could never have imagined I would one day be sharing the stage with the director of one of my favorite films, Mr. India. Now it is our great honor to welcome our esteemed guest, Mr. Shekhar Kapur, back onto the stage to present the awards. Welcome back on the stage, Mr. Kapur.
All right, let's begin with the awards. We have 9 awards in total, and let's just go through them one by one. This first student truly lives and breathes media, consistently demonstrating a deep passion. He approaches every project with enthusiasm and commitment, fully immersing himself in the creative process. Over the past 2 years, he has produced an outstanding portfolio of media work, including photography, film, and advertising, showcasing both his versatility and dedication to the subject. And the award goes to
Zach Folsham.
Zach. Moving on to the next one. This student has shown outstanding dedication throughout GCSE Media Studies, excelling in the creation of an engaging sci-fi TV opening and consistently producing high-quality work. They are a fantastic role model, contributing thoughtfully in lessons, going above and beyond independently, and showing tremendous growth over the course. And the award goes to?
Eliza Maggiari.
I think she was feeling unwell, so we'll have to give her the award later. But then let's move on to the third one. Okay, next we have a student who is exceptionally creative and has produced outstanding work since returning to us in year 13, bringing originality and flair to every brief. Their final 80s-inspired music video demonstrated remarkable attention to detail, dedication, and an impressive artistic vision by combining her skills in art together with her newly acquired cinematography skills. And the award goes to...
Melina Pulimendu.
This next student has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to excellence and a strong work ethic since the very beginning of the course. He consistently strives for the highest standards, willingly redrafting and refining his work to ensure it reaches its full potential. He has been a tremendous credit to the media department and serves as an outstanding example of what students can achieve when they apply themselves with focus and determination. This award goes to...
Alex Akcherin.
Next, this student has joined our department in year 12, yet has made a significant impact in a short time. While her expertise lies in film, she has consistently shown skill across other areas of media, contributing creatively to a range of projects beyond her own. Her strengths in photography, directing, cinematography, and editing reflect a thoughtful filmmaker who can apply film theory to practical work with imagination and with confidence. And this goes to...
Alex Ciuprina.
Flying through them. Okay. In the 4 years that this next student has been part of media, they have consistently proven themselves to be dedicated, capable, and resilient. She responds to feedback with openness and maturity, using it to make thoughtful improvements. She leaves her ego at the door and eagerly dives into the creative process, leading her to become a very competent editor and director. The student is...
Jade Campos.
consistently demonstrating hard work, professionalism, and commitment across both academic and creative tasks. They have been a supportive team player, collaborating effectively on an original music video project, while always showing kindness and positivity towards others. And she is?
Shreya Vaishnava.
The next student who is coming onto stage, I would better describe as a practitioner. With a clear creative voice and a strong sense of personal vision, her work always feels distinctly her own, whether produced in class or beyond it. She takes pride in creating pieces that reflect her perspective. Her standout strength is photography, where her natural eye for composition and visual storytelling has further developed through her work this year in directing both a music video and a short film. And this student is?
Arina Zaitz.
This last student has studied media for 4 years and has consistently shown herself to be hardworking, thorough, and committed. She doesn't cut corners in production work, taking time to test ideas, develop iterations, and submit work that reflect the best of her ability. She has grown hugely in confidence and made a real contribution beyond the media course, and in my eyes, has become a highly competent producer. The student is?
Daria Buzueva.
So proud of all of our winners. Could we please have all winners on stage one last time for a group photo? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we would also like to extend our sincere thanks to Mr. Kapur for helping us present these awards. It is a true honor for our students to receive recognition from such a distinguished and highly respected figure.
Okay.
Thank you to the Media and Film Department, first of all. I think they deserve an enormous round of applause for putting on this event. And I say them, I think we are thanking the performing arts as well as the creative arts. So let's make sure that the drama department also gets a very loud round of applause for those incredible performances. Such talent that we have here at Sunmarke School. I would say that in the spirit of Mr. Kapur, we have actually been a little bit rebellious today, because normally the Think and Thrive is just 2 seats, a speaker and the questioner. But look at the extravaganza we've had today. We've had singing, we've had awards, so already we are being somewhat rebellious in your true spirit, sir. Now, what I want to say is thank you to this community here for its resilience. We weren't even sure we could put on this event today, but it's come through and everyone was very much looking forward to it. So thank you to everybody who's been part of putting on this event. There are almost too many people to mention, and even if we asked them to stand up, we now wouldn't see them either. So thank you to everyone behind the scenes, certainly in our AV studio there, for putting on a terrific event. Well done to all of our students, not just the singers, but also those in the Media and Film Department whose work is really extraordinary. I've said it before at these events. I've worked in a few schools in the UK and international schools, and the quality both of the performing arts and the creative arts is truly staggering. And that's, of course, down to the talent of the students, but also to the nurturing that happens behind the scenes. So if you're a student in here, I think we should all be putting together our hands for all of the teachers, the staff behind the scenes supporting in that endeavour. And if you are a Year 10 or Year 12 student, we can't wait to see what you'll produce, and obviously we'll have our film festivals in the future and see your work exhibited here. Now, I guess the last thing to say is, this is a Think and Thrive, and this is about being inspired. And I think, without exception, everyone has been inspired today. I remember watching that Elizabeth film in the cinema. I remember the buzz in the cinema, seeing the film, and seeing the reactions of people leaving the cinema as well. There is no better space than a cinema, a movie house, to see a film, to get that feeling that you're part of something. So I couldn't agree more. Theatre, cinema is still there, it's still rich. We're very lucky here in Dubai. There are cinemas everywhere. And I tell you, this weekend, get off those little screens, get into the cinema, enjoy the event, because it matters so much in the world. Thank you, sir, so much for your time today. You've been incredibly generous with that time. Thank you all. Shekhar, thank you. And on that note, we will pass on some gifts from us. Thank you very much. Mr. Mankani, would like to pass this on? There we are. There we are. I'll hold that, I know. Can we get a photograph? Can we get a photograph?
हार के बाद ही जीत है थोड़े आंसू हैं थोड़ी हंसी आज गम है तो कल है खुशी जिंदगी की यही रीत है.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to give one final round of applause for our guest today, Mr. Shekhar Kapur. Thank you very much.